Welcome back. We're having so much fun learning about what God wants for families. Today we're going to hear a story about an interesting wrestling match. Last week we learned about how Jacob had to leave home because he had made his brother Esau so angry when he tricked him. That wasn't nice, was it? They lived separately for years, but today we're going to learn what happened when they saw each other again. So before we get to the story, I have a question for you. What are some things that are hard to fix once they are broken? Think about that for a second. So something hard to fix once they are broken. We can all agree that these things would be hard to fix. Something else that is hard to fix is a broken relationship. Sometimes our relationships in our families get broken. Last week we learned Jacob and Esau's relationship was broken because of Jacob's dishonesty. Jacob had to run away because Esau was ready to kill him. Sometimes family members hurt each other. Sometimes things happen that hurt our families. Today we're going to learn about what God can do when our families are hurting.
God wants to help families heal. God wants to help families heal.
God wants to help families heal. God wants to help families heal. God wants to help families heal.
So let's get to the story. So we learned last week that Jacob tricked Esau to get his birthright, and then he tricked Isaac to get Esau's blessing. Jacob was very dishonest, and it hurt his family. He had a bad relationship with his brother for many years. This story sounds like it could have taken place today. Many of us have had a hard time getting along with our siblings, right? Or other family members. So let's read from the Bible to find out what exactly happened to Jacob and Esau. So Genesis chapter 32. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, "This is what you are to say to my master Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, men servants and maidservants. Now I am sending this message to my Lord, that I may find favor in your eyes." When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him." In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and the herds and camels. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, "O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, 'Go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper.' I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown me. If I had only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I've become two groups. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me." So he spent the night there, and from what he had with him he selected a gift for his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself. "Go ahead of me," he said, and he instructed the one in the lead, "When my brother Esau meets you and asks, 'To whom do you belong, and where are you going, and who owns all these animals?' then you are to say, 'They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us.'" So it had been a long time, been several years that the brothers had seen each other. Have you ever had a family reunion with family you haven't seen in a long time? I have. Sometimes it's awkward, right? In this case, though, Jacob was worried about meeting his brother because he thought that Esau was going to kill him, right? Because Jacob had stolen Esau's blessings. Do you think Jacob felt bad about what he did to his brother? Do you think he was afraid? I do. I think he was. It even says Jacob prayed and he asked God for help, right? He was afraid he was going to kill him. So what did Jacob do to try to make Esau less angry? Well, he sent a bunch of goats, donkeys. He sent a gift, right? A bunch of animals. He was trying anything he could. Okay, that night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, and his 11 sons and crossed the Jordan. It says, "So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that this hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" Jacob he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask me my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." So what happened on the night before Jacob met Esau? Well, Jacob had a wrestling match. Remember I talked about that earlier? And this was somebody he didn't know. He wrestled all night, it says. And then it says the other person touched his hip, and it hurt him, and it made him have a limp. Do you remember who Jacob was wrestling? So he wrestled with God. That's interesting, right? Why do you think God chose to wrestle with Jacob? I think he wanted Jacob to struggle, right? It even changed. It said God changed Jacob's name to Israel, which means struggles with God. And then the next day, after Jacob's wrestling match with God, he met up with his brother for the first time in many years. Okay, so let's see what happens when he meets his brother. This is chapter 33. Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with his 400 men. He's probably still scared, right? So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck, and he kissed him, and they wept. Wow. So that's pretty cool. So what happened when Jacob and Esau finally met? Well, even though Jacob and Esau's family had been broken by lies for many years, God put his family back together through forgiveness, right? Esau forgave him, right? God helped their family heal through some big hurts. Esau forgave Jacob, and they hugged. They had a relationship again. So that's really cool. Do you ever feel like Jacob, scared of how your siblings or family members will react to you when you've done something wrong? Do you ever feel like Esau, forgiving family members who have hurt you? I think we probably have both felt both of those situations. When we have problems in our families or fights with our brothers or sisters or parents, we can choose to forgive and put our family relationships first. We can let God help our families heal, right? Okay, and so remember, the big idea is God wants to help families heal. That is so cool. So no matter what's going on in your family, with your relationships, with your parents, with your brothers, sisters, God wants you guys to heal. And you could start by asking God to help you. Once you pray to God, ask him to help heal your family, whatever the situation is. I hope you have a great week, and maybe we'll get to see you next Sunday. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.